It was the last day of classes, my first year of university, and I'd been feeling sick for a few weeks, so I finally thought that I would go to a campus doctor. And before I knew it, she told me that I was pregnant, which is something that I was not expecting at all. She quickly handed me 2 pamphlets. One was for an abortion clinic and the other was for the physicalities of being pregnant and parenting. And then she asked me what I was going to choose. I knew that I wanted to just make this go away. I was scared. I didn't want to have to tell my parents. So of course, with looking at the abortion pamphlet, that's something that I wanted to do. Originally, I wasn't going to tell my parents, but my best friend convinced me that they were the only people that knew me well enough to help me make such a big decision. So I just talked to my mom separately, and after I told her, she just kept on saying, like, everything's gonna be all right, Hannah. It's okay, we're gonna get through this, everything's gonna be all right. I could tell that she was scared, but she was definitely putting me first in that situation. Right away, I felt loved, and it was a judgment-free atmosphere. And we went through the 3 options of abortion, adoption, and parenting. And I was told to not lean towards any option yet and to just really consider all 3 of them. And after leaving that first day there, just to let them sink in. Eventually, I decided that adoption would be the choice for me. And I think it was always in the back of my mind that that's what I wanted to choose. So when I was able to connect to Destiny Adoptions, I was able to have support right from the beginning of my pregnancy all the way throughout and post my pregnancy. None of my family or my friends had been through any of this before or even really known anyone who's gone through an adoption like this before, especially an open adoption. So without adoption support, I would have felt very alone with this. But having the support helped me just when I was struggling with the emotions of what it would be like to place my daughter for adoption, and explain to me that all of this is normal and what I'm feeling is normal, and yeah, putting my needs first. So there was definitely a lot of meetings through the adoption with lawyers to decide what type of adoption I wanted to do, and I did choose an open adoption. And eventually I was able to, once I chose the adoptive parents, I was able to meet with them, with our lawyers and my adoption counselor, and just talk with them about the legalities of the adoption, how open it would be. We were able to share with each other how the adoptive parents found out that they were able to get a child and how I found out that I was pregnant, and to share all of those stories leading up to that day that we met each other. It could be scary thinking about open adoption, but it really is just the best of both worlds, I'd say, for the birth mom and for the adoptive parents, because we've been able to keep our distance but also share those special moments together. I've been able to see the way that they love her and really becoming one big family instead of 2 separate ones. And I think that's important for the child, just to see that they're loved from both sides. She was definitely a gift, and I know that she wasn't a mistake, but sometimes gifts aren't to keep, and it was a gift that I felt on my heart that I needed to share. Whether this was a silly irresponsibility or God's plan, it allowed this couple to become a family, and the child, she'll forever know that there's all these people around her loving her and that she was a miracle to them. And so when she was born, it then quickly became being scared to see her, being scared of how this is going to play out when the adoptive parents show up. And so when they got there was now 10 of us in my hospital room. And I was excited for them to start their journey as parents, and I'm sure that they were very nervous, and I wasn't anymore, so it was exciting for them. So I was warned that post-birth that there definitely would be some hard times. It did hit me just around a month later. I found myself crying all the time. I didn't want to be alone. I always wanted to be with my friend or the birth father. And I did find myself just always wanting to see pictures of my daughter and checking in on how that's going. So it was really tough, especially being away at school and just feeling so helpless. And also feeling like nothing had really happened. You were treated as though, okay, you were pregnant and now it's over. so you're moving on, but I wasn't. I was just starting to feel the postpartum depression that I had heard of, and it was tough. I just had to keep telling myself and have my counselors through my pregnancy just keep telling me that this is normal and it isn't something to worry about. Even people who keep their babies go through this, and it was just time that healed it. That day that I did go and visit her, all of my guilt throughout my pregnancy and post-pregnancy just went away. All of the doubts and the depression went away, and it made it 1,000 times worth it. That I was able to not only make a baby, but make a family for this couple.